What's good? YouTube, Adriannthakidd. Ha! You know what I'm saying? And I'm lit. We back in this bit, man. Today we got disturbing mysteries still unsolved in 2025. You know what I'm saying? This is when I'm recording this video. Yeah, man. So spooky, scary Sunday. Whenever I'm post this, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. Let's get it. Let's get it. Unsolved mystery.
West Bengal, India has its fair share of allegedly haunted places, but perhaps none are as creepy or as intriguing as the Aliyah ghost lights.
The Aliyah
swampy
ghost
marshes
lights
of West Bengal.
Don't
There have
Aliyah
been
be
many
singing?
sightings of these lights called Aliyah or jack-o'-lantern. They're described to be a flickering ball of light that emerges usually in the marshy regions of West Bengal and Bangladesh, and they've been attributed to being the cause of death of many fishermen. The fishermen community of the area have often spotted these unexplainable lights. The fishermen community of the area.
This is the blackest white dude I've ever seen in my life, bro. Like, I don't know.
Have often spotted these unexplainable lights, and many believe that some of the fishermen were so transfixed after seeing the Aliyah light that they followed it and drowned.
Why would they follow the sun?
Many in the area that these lights are the spirits of dead fishermen who lost their lives fishing in the marshes. These lights at times confuse the fishermen, causing them to fall in the water and drown, but also at other times, they may help guide them and prevent them from getting into danger.
How do they fall in the water when they're looking at a light?
Aliyah ghost lights are not just limited to West Bengal, though. They've been spotted in various places around the world, and these lights have long been associated with the paranormal or spirits. Some good spirits, some bad spirits. It's said that once you follow one of these lights, they'll flicker and diminish in size until they disappear, often causing people to panic and get lost. People have seen these lights all around the world, in graveyards, swamps, and boglands. They have been referred to as many different names. Anaya Carr from Siliguri was on the phone with her husband, who was on a solo fishing trip, and when he had mentioned seeing a bright light glimmering across the marsh, he stopped replying, though the call didn't end right away. Anaya would keep saying her husband's name into the phone until it sounded like the phone was dropped, and then the call abruptly ended. Her husband was never seen again.
Oh, shoot. Man, what? That's crazy.
In 2014, taxi drivers in Ibadan, Nigeria were starting to
what do y'all think about that one, man?
While there was no outward evidence of any sort of foul play at first, people started to become suspicious when more and more people would disappear and mysterious-looking strangers would be lurking the area. Police were notified of the disappearances, but reportedly were uncooperative, refusing to investigate further and saying that the men had likely just run off. As the disappearances continued in the area, there was still no official response until a motorcyclist riding down a highway claimed that he had heard some crying out for help from the forest. On March 22, 2014, police finally went about investigating the forest, where they would stumble across a literal house of horrors. There, tucked away in the trees, was a seemingly abandoned building from which emanated a vile stench. Upon entering the building, they were met with countless decomposed human corpses, most of which had been bound with chains. As the search of the place continued, police began turning up other human remains in the surrounding area, many of them having been butchered and missing limbs.
I know this place smells crazy.
Some of them even still bound with chains. There were also numerous human remains found scattered in the surrounding woods, stuffed within bushes, in the nooks of trees, or dumped into holes in the ground or into caves. The corpses and remains were in various states of decomposition.
Thank you for blurring this out.
Many of them missing limbs or internal organs.
That boy's sagging.
In total, over 20 decomposed human bodies and hundreds of human skulls were found in the forest. And there was a separate building full of only personal belongings of the victims, including licenses, clothing, and even children's toys. 15 people were rescued who were chained up in captivity, all severely malnourished. When police interviewed them, in most cases they could not identify the people who had taken them, but they described that they had been kidnapped, tortured, and kept in shackles with once-a-week feedings. However, a few claimed that the men who kidnapped them had been government officials, or at least were posing as them. The answers as to what exactly happened here have not been made completely clear, and it's unknown who took these people or where they went. And while some arrests were made, no one has been officially charged with any of it.
Yo, that, like, you know what I'm saying? That kind of reminds me of the game Heavy Rain. If y'all don't know, Heavy Rain, boy gets kidnapped by somebody, you know what I'm saying? Then he gets like put like in a like a well type of thing, and it like where they were at, it like constantly rains. So like the more it rains, the more the water's gonna build up until the boy ends up drowning. You know what I'm saying? The kids have been like disappearing. You know what I'm saying? So, dang. I still gotta play that game though. Heavy rain coming soon.
On January 2nd, 2000, Zeb Wayne Quinn went missing in Asheville, North Carolina. Zeb was 18 years old and working at a local Walmart in the electronics section when he disappeared after finishing his shift. At around 9 p.m., he had plans to travel a moderate distance with his coworker Robert Jason Owens to buy a new car. Zeb met Robert in the Walmart parking lot before they drove separately to look at the vehicle. The two men were seen on surveillance footage at a nearby gas station at approximately 9:15 p.m. purchasing sodas at a convenience store. According to Robert, after leaving the gas station, Zeb signaled for him to pull over by flashing his headlights. Zeb told him that he had received a page and needed to return the call. After he returned from using a payphone, Robert described Zeb as frantic and nervous. Zeb told him that he needed to cancel their plans to view the car, and he eventually sped off, rear-ending Robert's truck in the process. Hours later,
his truck.
Robert was treated at a hospital for fractured ribs and a head injury that he claimed was due to a second car accident that same evening. No accident report was ever filed with police. The following afternoon, Zeb's mother Denise filed a missing persons report. 2 days after he was last seen, a man claiming to be Zeb placed a phone call to the Walmart where he worked. The man told Zeb's coworker that he would not be coming to work due to coming down with a fever, but the coworker recognized that the voice was not Zeb's. The phone call was placed back to a Volvo plant where Robert worked. When questioned, Robert admitted to making the phone call, claiming that he was doing Zeb a favor after he called and asked Robert to call in sick for him. During police investigations, a woman named Misty Taylor was interviewed, as she and Zeb had become romantically involved in the weeks prior to his disappearance. And he had told friends and family that he had been threatened by her abusive boyfriend, Wesley Smith, after he discovered that the two of them had been speaking. On January 6, 2000, Zeb's mom received a phone call from a former classmate of her son, who happened to be a coworker at the Asheville hospital where both were nurses, who told her that she had seen his car in the parking lot of a barbecue restaurant next to the hospital. Police examined the car, which had been left with its headlights on, but there was also a pair of lips and an exclamation mark drawn on the car's back windshield in lipstick, and a live puppy was found inside.
A live
puppy? A plastic hotel keycard was also discovered in the vehicle, but police couldn't find the source hotel. There was also a jacket that didn't belong to Zeb in the car. Police collected forensic evidence from the car, but uncovered no new leads.
So it sounds like
Zeb's
he got his
mother
car
believes
stolen.
that the car was placed there by somebody that knew that his family worked and lived nearby, intending that one of them would find it. A couple later called police to report that they had seen Zeb's car being driven in downtown Asheville before it was parked at the restaurant, and assisted police in producing a composite image of the person driving the car. Police later noted that the suspect looked identical to Misty Taylor.
She looked like a dog.
Robert Jason Owens was arrested in 2017 for the murder of Zeb. However, in his plea agreement in July of 2022, just last month, Robert's story went that his uncle Gene, who died in 2017, knew Misty Taylor's aggressive boyfriend and was asked to do something to keep Zeb away from her. And Robert said his uncle's remedy was murder. He said that he played no part and only witnessed it. The judge accepted Robert's plea and sentenced him to 150 to 189 months in prison, which will be served concurrent to a 60 to 75-year sentence he's currently serving for the murder of a couple in 2015, which is an entirely different story of its own. Regarding Zeb's murder, no one can really know for sure what actually happened.
So, did Robert's uncle die? Because, you know what I'm saying, in the plea agreement, he was like, all right, man, my uncle knew somebody, my uncle knew Zeb's girlfriend's other boyfriend or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I think. That's mind-boggling.
July 13th, 2011, Rebecca Zahau was found hanging at the Spreckles Mansion in Coronado, California. Pronounced dead by first responders called to the residence. Rebecca's body was found nude, bound, and gagged. Her death occurred 2 days after 6-year-old Max Shackney, the son of her boyfriend Jonas Shackney, had fallen from the staircase of the mansion and was held in a hospital in critical condition. Rebecca and her younger sister Zena were the only people present at the time of Max's fall. On July 16th, 2011, Max succumbed to his injuries and died in the hospital.
I think that, you know what I'm saying, that his father, you know what I'm saying, like, kid fell in her house, you know what I'm saying? If that was the house that they were showing, you know what I'm saying, and he fell from like up here, like, you know what I'm saying, that would be like critical, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like he had to have played a part, you know what I'm saying? He was like, oh, you know what I'm saying, my son came over to your house and he ended up dying. So
Rebecca and her younger sisters, 2011, Max succumbed to his injuries and died in the hospital. Rebecca's death was ruled a suicide, but her sisters don't buy it and have long pressed their point, waging battles both with authorities and possible suspects. On July 12, 2011, Rebecca dropped off Zena at the airport for her flight back to Missouri, and then picked up Jonah's brother Adam, who had just arrived on a flight from Memphis, Tennessee. Rebecca, Jonah, and Adam ate dinner with a friend named Howard that evening. Afterwards, Rebecca and Adam returned to the Spreckles mansion, while Jonah held a vigil for Max with the child's mother, Dina Romano. There were reports of loud music coming from the Spreckles mansion later that night. On the morning of July 13th at around 6:45 a.m., Adam stated that he found Rebecca's nude body hanging from a balcony, with her wrists and ankles bound and her hands behind her back. He called 911 at 6:48 a.m., then sent a text message to his brother to inform him of the news. He cut down her body before the police arrived. Medics attempted to revive her, but it was already far too late. Police performed an autopsy to determine the cause of death, and from the start, speculations of foul play had arisen, but investigators were unable to find any other DNA at the scene besides Rebecca's. The San Diego Sheriff's Department formally announced their finding that Rebecca had committed suicide, but her family wasn't happy about that, and they were firm on their belief that she did not commit suicide.
That seems very
family
shady.
And friends looked at Adam Shackney, Jonah's brother, as a prime suspect, as he was alone in the house with Rebecca during her hanging, and it could have been a revenge killing for the accidental death of his nephew.
That's
while
what I'm
he was
saying.
under
Like,
Rebecca's watch.
somebody
for
over there
7
must
years,
have felt away.
Rebecca's sisters had to fight to make it known she didn't commit suicide, and eventually it paid off. In 2018, a jury in San Diego found Adam Shackney responsible for the hanging death of Rebecca after a month-long civil trial. Rebecca's family was awarded more than $5 million for loss of companionship.
It's deserved.
The 12-member jury found Shackney responsible for her death in a 9-3 vote. The majority agreed Adam touched Rebecca with intent to harm her before her death, and the touching caused her death.
But that's really tricky though, because it was no evidence at the scene except hers. But you know what I'm saying, he was there, you know what I'm saying? He's the one who cut her body down and called the
court
police.
never awarded any punitive damages. Because this was a civil trial, Adam didn't face any criminal charges and cannot be sentenced to prison.
What?
Regardless of the civil suit, the findings by police allegedly pointed at Jonah and Adam being innocent and Rebecca's death being a suicide. But the biggest flaw in that would be the way in which Rebecca's body was found hanging, bound and gagged. It's not something somebody would do to themselves. Still,
That's
really
what I was
happened
thinking. I
may
was
never
like,
be known for sure.
I was like, okay, so, you know what I'm saying, gag, like, I'm pretty sure it's like, you know what I'm saying, something was in her mouth, you know what I'm saying, hands tied, legs tied, I think it said, and then, like, if your legs and arms are tied, you know what I'm saying, you gotta gag, like, how are you gonna, like, hang yourself? I don't know, man. That don't seem likely. It's a good video. I was looking at more scary videos, you know what I'm saying, to react to, and this Mr. Nightmare dude seems pretty cool, so I'm gonna go ahead and sub up. You know what I'm saying? Man, hope I scared y'all. Damn. But look, man, that's gonna do it for today's Scary Sunday, whatever day of the week I decide to post this, you know what I'm saying, video. Look, man, let me know what y'all thought about these in the comment section below. Hope y'all enjoyed, man. If y'all did, make sure you leave a like, comment down below, subscribe for more, man. Follow my socials here at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Adriannthakidd, and I'm lit, and I'm out this bit, man. Stay safe, man. This world is crazy. Peace.